Hello, everyone. Hi. Hi there, my name is Dymphie and welcome to Pakhuis Zwijger, to this last edition of Fotokroniek before summer. For who hasn't been to an edition of Fotokroniek before, Fotokroniek is a program that we're already organizing for a few years here in Pakhuis, and every edition another photographer or visual storyteller is invited to get to know more about the person, about the work of that person, and the stories behind the pictures and the visuals. And this is a pretty special edition because this edition is organized together with Foam Photography Museum. Tonight we're also recording this session, so not only hello to all of you, but also to the people that are going to watch or listen this episode back later on. Well, I guess we all know why we are here and who our main guest is today. Because today we're inviting you to Mousganistan, and I thought I would dress accordingly. That wasn't a hard decision to think about when I woke up this morning, what to wear today. Well, anyway, the main guest of today is, of course, Mous Lamrabat, and he's currently exhibiting in Foam Dutch Photography Museum. There you can see, you can visit his exhibition Visits to Mousganistan. And we also invited two other Dutch-based guests. They are called Mina Abouzahra and Kenza Mala Badi. I would love to invite Valeria Posada from Foam to the stage because she's going to introduce the exhibition first. So can I have a warm welcome for Valeria? Valeria, please join me on stage. You're working for Foam. I just mentioned the exhibition of Mous is showcasing there right now. We can visit it still until October. The opening was, I think, a month ago, which was a big success because I saw a lot of people showing up.
You were there also personally, right?
I wasn't, but I saw all my friends posting videos, and I was bummed that I wasn't available that night.
But it's really
I missed the Moroccan wedding party, right?
Yes, and Mous being carried and flown a bit into the air.
Yeah,
that was also really nice.
Those kind of
see.
vibes.
Yeah,
it was great to see. Although I wish I was there. Let's talk about the exhibition a bit first because it's a solo exhibition. I think it's almost 3 rooms that where we can see his work. Why did Foam chose Mous for this exhibition?
Well, that's a really nice question. Actually, the idea to make an exhibition with Mous's work had already been brewing. The photography department of Foam was really interested in his work because of his distinctive way of portraying his shared heritage, and as well because of his affinity with the younger generations. So curators Miriam Kooijman and Claartje van Dijk were really drawn and wanted to exhibit his work to give him a space beyond the fashion world. Because what usually happens is that young fashion photographers are mostly shown in magazines and publications, but seldom in museums. So with giving them their space, they also wanted to show it to a broader audience. And you also see that a bit with, or you can compare it to the case of US photographer Tyler Mitchell. So his first solo show was in Foam, actually, in 2019. And he had never shown his work in a museum. And he offered a fresh perspective about the industry. And that followed up as well, and then became the 2020 exhibition that's called Adorned, and that showed 17 different creators that are the young, fresh generation. So basically, Mous felt like a natural direction to go. Yeah, nice follow-up, indeed.
It looks amazing. For this talk here tonight, you also selected 2 other guests. Why did you invite Mina and Kenza Mala to join tonight?
Yeah. Well, with FOAM's public program, we always want to offer a deeper insight on the exhibitions, but also on topics that FOAM thinks are very relevant. And when we discussed with the team, we wanted to focus on this one, on identity and belonging, and in this case specifically on Moroccan identity. And we thought it was lovely to bring Mina Abouzahra and to bring Kenza Mala because they broaden the perspective. There are different ways also about relating to Moroccan heritage, shaping it, transforming it, and
there are different kind of creators.
Yeah, indeed. So Mina Abouzahra herself is a designer, and Kenza Mala works as a performing artist and also is a storyteller theorist. So we thought that, and I forgot, they also work with very also other communities. So Mous has a lot to do with bicultural people and young generation. And then you see Mina Abouzahra, who's very busy working with the Berber women weavers in Morocco. And then you have Kenza Mala, who's been really active working with the queer community, with the refugee community. So it's really nice. We thought all of them.
So they're all connecting specific worlds and blended into one beautiful one.
Indeed.
Yeah, thank you. Well, the exhibition, we just mentioned it, Blessings from Mousganistan, is open for visits until the 16th of October. Yeah. And, well, last time I told you that I wanted to have an Oprah moment in this edition, right? And we got one because... Look under your seat. No.
Well, if you
probably you're already sitting on it, because if correct, you saw a red card on your chair. If not, someone stole it. No, we probably have some more. But with that ticket, you get a free entrance to FOAM. So you can visit the exhibition if you haven't seen it yet. So you get a ticket, you get a ticket, you get a ticket.
Everybody does it.
Yes, and we all hope to see you there.
Yeah.
Thank you, Valeria.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I always wanted to do that. Well, let's not wait any longer and invite Mous to the stage. So, Mous Lamrabat, can I please have you in the front? Welcome, Mous. I hear I'm not the only fangirl in the room. Yeah.
She started with very good advice. She said, like, the further you sit, the longer the applause. So, like...
That's what I told him. So he was, like, sitting in the last row. Welcome. How are you feeling?
I'm a bit nervous. I actually never did this. So...
Yeah. I know you're not a big fan of, like, live talks.
No, not really. But, I mean... If it's necessary, it's necessary.
It is. No, I mean, that's why you probably become a photographer, to like have images like speak for you. But I do have some questions for you, though. Yeah. But let's get back to the exhibition first, because opening night, how did you experience it?
Oh, opening night was... Who was here at the opening night? Like, raise your hand.
Oh, so great that you showed up again.
It was nice, right? Like,
who had muscle cramps the next morning from dancing?
It was just one to remember. I mean, I will remember this for the rest of my life for obvious reasons. It was so many people. All my friends were there. My family was there. My parents were there. And, you know, it was all these groups of people coming together in one space was like just... I felt like it was working, you know? Like, the stuff that I do was like...
The vision that you had?
Yeah. It's like I parent-trapped these people. Yeah, it's just beautiful to see, like... you talk about it, like, in interviews and stuff, and you talk about bringing people together, like, different colors, different generations and stuff, and... But to see it actually happen, it's like one of the most amazing feelings.
Yeah, so you saw that happening in front of your eyes.
Exactly. Yeah. It was, yeah, it was, I mean, I'm still not really like don't realize how nice it was. It was. I will never remember. I will never forget this. Like for sure.
Yeah. Well, we still have the videos. So. Yeah. Yeah, how important was it to have your parents there?
Pretty important. I was talking to someone in the hallway, like, what was your name again? Sorry, like I didn't get Elias. I was talking to Elias, and we were talking about our parents for a second, and like I think most of the people in the room here is like basically wants to make their parents proud, and I know what I do is not something that they really understand very well, because it's in the art world, and I mean, my parents are first generation. My mom doesn't speak any Dutch, or she only speaks like the Amazigh language, the Rif language, and
yeah, because just to mention, like, who doesn't know, you grew up in Belgium.
Yeah, and they don't really know what you actually do. Like I'm gone for a long times. Like I travel so much, and like they really have no idea. Like he just leaves, and you know, you wait till he comes back. And and that's the thing that's very important to me, to have them come and actually see what we did.
Yeah, it becomes tangible, right?
Yeah, it's all of a sudden it just becomes something that that they can see in front of them. And because before it was just like, yeah, I told them I was a photographer, but like, I mean, the spectrum you have, I mean, I think this is a lot of people from our generation have to deal with this, like, especially in the creative industry. Like, there's so many ways to do one craft, you know? You have your own style, you have your own aesthetics, but this is the part that is very difficult to explain to people from their generation. So for me, it's very important that they can understand and see, like, if you see 100 images in one night, then maybe you understand a little bit, like, what your kid is doing.
And the story you want to tell.
Yeah. Which is very cool, because the next day I went back to my parents' house, like nothing happened. They didn't talk about the exhibition or nothing. Like, no congratulations, no, like, you know, it's fine. It's my parents, I love them. And yeah, my dad came down, and he had this hat that he was wearing for like 20 years, like every time on Eid, like when, you know, when Ramadan is over, and also like the feast, which is like in July, he wears that hat. And he decided he doesn't want to wear the hat anymore, but to give it to me and say, like, make a nice picture with this.
This was the moment.
Yeah. And that was the first moment we actually talked about what happened, like, at the exhibition. And I mean, I can see they're proud, I think. I mean, yeah, I guess. But it's nice that it also, we don't...
Yeah, a lot of it is unsaid.
Yeah, and that's the part that I love, because they always will keep me grounded because of that.
Yeah, because we always have to guess what we're saying. No. But that's a great moment, and also, like, it felt like some kind of a recognition, and also like a new moment, probably a new phase.
For them?
For in the relationship with your parents, and also how they understand that your craft is something that is like.
Yeah, I mean, for them, it's...
Boy is a professional photographer.
I think my dad started really understanding what I did, since there's this painter that lives in their street, and he's a huge fan. My dad doesn't understand what he says, but every time that neighbor passes by, or like you pass by, it's like, Mous, you know, like... And my dad is just like, oh yeah, every time I see and I think this is the only, like, they don't have social media. I'm not on the news or anything. So like this neighbor guy is like the only reference for my dad.
The only validation
Yeah.
that he has.
Like, okay, Mous is actually doing good or something.
Yeah.
So it's funny in a way, but I mean, it's just the way everybody has this unique way of celebrating. I mean, what they're doing with their parents, and we should. And I was talking with Elias about it. We just need to be patient, like. It's not because of our parents don't understand that they don't support us or anything. A lot of times they just don't understand, and we need to be patient to explain it to them constantly, and to take them also with you. Like if you have an exhibition, if you want to, if you're going somewhere that is a place where your interests are, take them with you, like stuff like that. And I think this is the only reason that my parents know what I'm doing, because I'm taking them to every exhibition.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
How did you start with photography?
Ooh, really?
Who introduced you to the concept?
I saw this. I was going to put it like. I saw this reportage, like documentary, from this guy who I thought was a genius. JR, and he did this project.
See some work behind us.
Yeah. So this is like, I think, face-to-face project that he did. And before that, please come in. She looks so happy.
Join us, join the party.
There was this previous project called 28 millimeter. It's like 28 millimeters. And he took like, I think it's one of his first projects, and he went to the bad neighborhoods in Paris, banlieues.
Yes.
And he took these photos with a 28 millimeter lens, very little bit fisheye. And basically he took photos, what he described as scum, like how the world sees them. And he just pasted them like all over the fancy neighborhoods in Paris. And then the reaction and the interaction of like these modern fancy places, like people looking at it and really enjoying it, and I thought it was pretty gangster. I was like, next day I went to Antwerp, I'm gonna give me a camera. And that was actually the very, very beginning. Yeah.
What were the first projects you were working on, focusing on? Because it starts with experimenting a lot. Where did you make pictures of?
Thank God I have like a big family. We're 9 kids. There's 19 nieces and nephews. There's my parents. There's uncles. There's aunties. It's a really big family, and I really just experimented on them, which is actually nice because when I look in my archives, there's a period where there's pictures of everybody. Like it's documented, which I'm very sad about that I don't do that anymore. But I mean, I'm not around that much anymore. Mm-hmm. But this is actually the first part that I started with, and just to get along with it, just to experiment, to try, and everybody has to go through it, I guess, before you actually start creating interests.
Yeah, and you still often are not working with professional models, right?
Yeah, because I need people to trust me. I need people to trust me. I just want to, like, often I shoot friends, I shoot family, I shoot people that know my work, that love my work, and then I could just like be free. And so don't put yourself in an environment where you think like you have to hold back, I mean, I even shot photos on this little girl right here, just because, I mean, yeah, she's fine with everything. I mean, she trusts me and she knows me, and it's often like that. Like, I don't need a model to be in front of me. And this is also what I try to push to bigger magazines and stuff. Like, when they come with these big names, I'm immediately intimidated by it. Like, I don't want to shoot with the toppest model because I would be like,
too much pressure.
Yeah. So give me a new face, someone new, someone fresh, and it will be as good as the
and
top
also
one.
let it happen in the moment.
Yeah.
About your style, because when I see your pictures coming by, even if they don't have your name under it, I recognize it as that's a Mous. How would you describe your style right now? Because I know you started with family. I guess it was not these pictures yet, but how would you describe it?
Honestly, this is the hardest question I always get. I mean, I don't know. I don't have a name for it. It's just me, and
maybe we can ask the audience for some words. What pops up in your mind? What kind of words? Just yell it. I can repeat it.
For this picture, like it's like a dream.
Dream.
Once fly away, we want to break the mold.
Yeah. So dream. Well, it's like creating your own world, right?
I mean, it is. It's my head. It's how my brain works. It's how you put you draw lines to in your own head, and it's some kind of logics in a way that you try to find. Like it's like when you know your house is that way, then even if I go this way, at some point I know that like it just feels normal. It's very intuitive, and in a way, I always lay. When I go to sleep, I always start thinking about a lot of things, and sometimes it's about when I have this interview and like, how do you describe your style? And sometimes I'm very hard-headed and say like, you know what? Maybe I don't want to describe my style.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's just good as it is, and does it have a does it have to have a name? Like, I mean, it feels.
Well, it's Mousganistan.
Yeah, I mean.
What are elements that are always present?
Most of the time, what's present is just what annoys me, what I go through, or what I've been through, or it's kind of frustrations coming together with naive dreams, or I don't know how to explain them. But I mean, obviously, like racism is like something that. Comes back often, because it's a very dirty feeling that you can have or get when someone is discriminating, and it's like small anecdote, but like I don't remember the first time that I got in touch with racism, but recently I saw how my little nieces, who are like the sweetest twin, like most beautiful girls, mashallah, like, and they were not invited to a birthday party. And then you know how kids are, they're honest, right? Like at school, they came back and it's like, yeah, my mom only wanted to invite white kids. It crushed me, It's like this was their first time for them knowing that they were not normal, and
not the norm. Yeah.
And this is something I will always try to fight for, and it's I don't know how much you can do about it, because behind closed doors people can do and say what they want, but at least I will try to push it and to have like these cultures and these minorities in my work, and showing them in a way that you can't ignore that it is beautiful and it is inspiring, and so this is a very important topic for me.
Yeah. And some of the other topics are, for example, the diversity that you want to show. Women's rights is also a topic that comes by. How do you translate that into a concept? What is the starting point? How does your creative process look like?
A lot of times it's something bothering me, and I try to find a solution for myself. It's very personal. Like I know I'm not going to change the world by myself, but for me, it's just like, you know, just like how I deal with it, you know, to create something, to put something at least out there that people might, I don't know, talk about it or you know, or like just share it. And I'm also not the shocking kind of type of person. Like I do it with the most gentle way that you almost can hate on it, because I'm not trying to provoke anything. Or I just want to have people to have a discussion or something, like just talk to each other, just have a conversation. You'll see like we have so much more in common than you think, you know. Just talking, like hearing you talk earlier, like doing your stories, like it's like from a totally different part of the world, but we've been through so many of the same things, you know. And this is something that is very important to me, letting the people know how much things we have in common.
Nice, thank you. You do a lot of self-initiated work, but you also work on commission, right?
I do. I gotta make money, right?
How do you balance those two? Because what kind of commissions do you do? It's more fashion photography, or?
Yeah, mostly it is fashion photography, because I feel the field of fashion, any kind of photography. Oh, she's leaving.
Maybe she was in the wrong room, but it was interesting enough to stay.
Oh,
so
yeah.
just continue.
Okay. So the thing about within the like fashion photography, everything could be fashion photography. Like if you have, I mean, a war photographer can be a fashion photographer. Like the only thing that is demand with fashion photography is that, I guess, that there's some kind of clothes and maybe brands and the image. Other than that, there's no rules. Like the creative part could be anything. And this is what I love about fashion photography. And it's also why I chose fashion photography, because, I mean, obviously I was a little bit interested in fashion before everything, but and especially this day and age, like it's becoming more creative, it's becoming more artistic, and I love to see it. Like I really enjoying this. What I do now is people kind of know me for the style that I do for myself personally. And this is the reason why they book me. So basically I can get quite close to my personal work.
So you created a luxurious position for yourself right now.
I mean, sometimes you have to create your own positions, you know, because like it's very important to have a DNA, that's for sure, 200%. But because if you don't have a DNA, then you become replaceable, you know? It's like if you do things as, if you're just a tool and you do whatever other photographer is doing or many other photographers doing, then, I mean, if you can't shoot that day because you're busy, they will not wait for you, you know? So be good at something and just try to make it your own, you know? And this is what I actually enjoy. Like my commissioned work becomes, this was commissioned work. This was an editorial that I shot. Like, and it's such a nice position because you also get to have these messaging within commercial work, which is, I think, in my case, like the thing that I really want to do, like to use other platforms to send out messages, not only my own platform.
Yeah. Okay, last question for now, because you're going to stay on the stage and we invite other guests, and there's also room for questions afterwards. When you're saying this and also saying like sharing those messages through your own platform, but also others, are you still calling yourself a photographer? Or are you maybe more of a storyteller, or maybe a creative director, or?
I wish one day I can become a creative director. Because I see like a lot of people like on social media putting creative director in their bio. And
well, we can decide that today.
I mean, it's creative direction. Being a creative director is such a big job. I mean, it's such a huge responsibility, I feel. And people like put it like, and I became really scared of it. But I would love like one day, honestly, like to become creative director of a brand even. Like doesn't have to do anything with photography, but I rather describe myself as a creative person than as a photographer or creative director or anything. Just
You're being humble now. I'm gonna invite some other guests. No, but I think there is there's a visionary perspective, and I think with also the exhibition that you're showing right now, like with the whole Mousganistan world,
yeah.
I think you're almost there, calling yourself creative director. I think you can.
I don't know. Let's let the crowd decide. No.
Yeah. Okay, vote. No.
No.
We're gonna we're gonna see how we announce you next time. For now, thank you for this part already. And I want to invite to the stage Mina Abouzahra and Kenza Mala Badi. Where are you?
Do I move there?
No, please sit. Okay. Please sit. Mina, hello. Please sit.
Hi, Kenza.
Kenza Mala. Hello, both of you. Well, if you heard Mous's his story, we are also really curious about your stories because Mina, I would love to start with you first. You're a designer.
Yeah.
You didn't start out as a designer because you were all the way into food before.
Yes. Yeah.
You're a chef.
Who isn't?
Yeah. Can you tell me a little bit about the projects that you do and what you make?
You mean food or design?
No, design-wise now.
Yeah. I make tables to eat on. No. Actually, I went to the cabinet maker school to make furniture from wood. While I was doing that, I've learned that I'm more a designer than only a maker. But I still was. I did my internship in my last year in Morocco, in Aswera, at a wood workshop, and that was very special and beautiful, and also a new world in Morocco opened up for me because I was already traveling a lot, but mostly to do research for food and to taste and to be inspired. But now I was looking at, I was seeing Morocco with new eyes. I saw...
just to give a little bit of a background, you also have Moroccan roots, grew up in Twente, in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
But you
Hola.
No, I wasn't going to ask you. I was going to ask you.
That was just like to get it over with.
Just to prove it.
All right.
To prove it.
That's done. Okay.
How did you started your creative journey?
Well, I think I was really curious, just always asking questions and looking around and searching. And I think I did my cooking school in Enschede, but I already felt as a young girl that I had different and creative ideas. So Amsterdam was really appealing to me. And when I was 19, I came to Amsterdam to just to feel normal. And
what does normal mean?
Well, normal is I think when you have a little bit of how do you call it in English? Afwijkende ideeën and ideas, like they're not the normal standard ideas and getting married and having children, but just more different. And then Amsterdam is a place where I felt normal because everybody was a little bit like me, or even more extreme. I was challenged here in Amsterdam to be creative and to look around and ask questions and experiment and to find my own path in this journey. And so food was the beginning, but I as a child, I was always intrigued by food, but also interior in my room, but also very curious about my Dutch neighbors and how it looks from their houses from the inside, and how it smelled, and what they have in their pots and everything. I mean, yeah. So I was always so, and that was maybe when I was young. We didn't have a lot of money, but I wanted to change my wallpaper in my room because it was very 70s and ugly. So, and we had a neighbor with very old people, and I asked them. I ring the doorbell and ask them, do you have old stuff that you don't use that I can sell? So they sometimes invited me in, and sometimes we also went to the attics, and they told me they opened their old kisten.
Yeah, old cabinets and stuff came out.
And then they told me stories about Second World War and all those things. So I was always, and I sold the things, of course, and then with the money I bought some new wallpaper and I put it on the wall. I don't know how I did it when I was 8, so approximately.
Tape.
So I did just found a way. If I wanted something, I just looked for ways to do it. But so actually, as a young...
Yeah, that's what you sometimes said. Like, I'm already creative by default, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you can't ignore it when it's there. It's something that is there. But when I'm telling this story because I'm still doing the same. Actually, I'm still looking around, but now I do it in Morocco, and I'm with crafts. I was doing the research and going to woodworkers and workshops and markets and leather workers and all of the crafts you have in Morocco. And when I got involved with Berber rugs, I really felt a very strong connection because it's made by a female in rural places, by Amazigh women, the native Moroccans, and the way they make it. Every region has its own rug, and every rug has a story in it. So the symbol,
the
technique,
rug language,
a rug language, and but it's also they see wool as holy because. The rain that falls out of the sky is feeding the grass, and the grass is feeding the sheep, and the sheep is feeding the people, but it's feeding them with wool, and they make tents out of wool, jilaba, clothing, bags, saddles, blankets, and rugs. I mean, everything. And they can also eat the sheep. I don't do that. I'm vegetarian, but...
Okay.
But, I mean... there are so many aspects that the way how they receive wool as holy was for me like, wow, I feel the same, but I've never really realized how holy actually wool is. But not only wool, it's also the environment. They respect the environment, and it's intertwined in the way how they work and produce and create. And there's what was the question, actually?
Well, it was one question, but you gave a really long and beautiful answer. But that doesn't really matter. Because where the story is actually going is also how you ended up. For example, you're talking about the Moroccan crafts, arts, well, I'm going to call it design, because we're sometimes used to call it craft, but I rather
It's
call
both,
it design.
and it's art, and it's everything.
Yeah, but how did you ended up combining the Moroccan designs with Dutch or more Western designs? Because you're combining those two right now.
That's true. Yeah, yeah. Well, some things just go organically, but what I really I was doing the hout- en meubeleringsschool, the cabinet maker school, and somebody introduced me to some old chairs, but they were Rietveld chairs, and that's Rietveld is the architect designer of the 60s, and it's a big name and an important name. So when I saw them, I was like, oh, they're nice, but they can use some more.
I can make them nicer.
Yeah, they can use some Moroccan touch, and so no, it was not. It was just intuitive. So I coated them with a fresh color and reupholstered them with Moroccan textile, and the arm, how do you call them? The armleggers. They were from plastic, so I made them from wood. Actually, where I started the wood school, but I also always made, when I made one, when I made the first, I felt like, oh, but for me, this is what I actually am, and what I
was
mean.
saying that you can see that in both of your works. It's almost like a reflection of your own identity, right?
Yeah, and it's not that I was thinking, oh, I am like both, but I just did it because I felt like they belong together, and because I belong also, my Dutch part and my Moroccan part belong together.
And it's not two different parts, it's a whole.
Exactly, it's not, so, but it took a while before I was there, but so this chair is a reflection of actually two different worlds working together and celebrating each other. And from there on, actually everything that I make is saying something about one or the other, or it's a collaboration.
Yeah. Do you see a resemblance in the work that Mina makes? Like, if you would be an interior designer, would it look like that?
It's cool. I mean, I don't know. I'm happy to try it. Like, if you ever want to do a collaboration, like.
Yeah, you can be your creative director, and then
First, we changed the name from Rietveld to Hamidveld.
Yes.
Love that.
Sorry.
This is what I mean with creative directorship.
We're done.
Okay.
Already planning.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
You actually won a European Design Award recently, right?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago. Yeah, we can applaud for that. Because it was for another project, 1 square meter project.
Yeah, so when
Can you share a little bit about that one?
I will try to do it quickly.
Yeah, it's fine.
Mina will share her point later on. Don't worry, we won't miss it.
But so when I was doing a lot of research in Morocco, and I started to get to know the rug better, I started to produce a little bit and design and to work with female and producers. And I learned that most of the female who are working for producers are earning, and a lot of female are earning between 10 and 20 or 50 cents. So
so the value
per
chain
hour,
wasn't adding up.
Per hour, and on the other hand, you had a lot of producers and sellers that are getting very rich, and so I was I was in the middle of this industry, so I was really eager to do something with it. But it's such a big issue. I mean, it's not only in the rug business; it's in every industry where you have the workers who are getting exploited, and the few that on the top are extremely rich. So we did a project, 1 square meter Berber called, where we initiated a collaboration between known Dutch designers and 4 female-led cooperatives in Morocco, in the north and in the middle and the south, also to show the handwork that it's really you can tell that it's from a specific region. So we also wanted to tell that story. So I invited them to sit in a week with the female the designers
because
to
there
travel.
was a knowledge exchange project.
Yeah, they took their designs with them, and they learned from the female weavers to work on a rug. So that was the starting point of a 1 square meter rug. And I asked them to make a 1 square because many times they get paid per 1 square meter, and I asked them to make a self-portrait because they're not really their face is unknown.
They're nameless.
Yeah, they're nameless and faceless. So that was something that was very well received from both sides because the female needs some new ideas because there are trends and they don't have they don't know what the trends are, and they also want to be involved in the industry. And the Dutch, they also learned how the female don't travel, don't have Instagram. Most of them are unliterate, but they still are just fabulous makers. So they learned on a whole other level how to create. And we did an exhibition, and we also made a paper about it. And this paper I made together with Staat.
So 1 square meter paper.
Yeah. So we made a
Maybe we can pass it around.
So we did this project with the idea to make a collection from the designers and to give the orders to the woman and pay them a fare. But so the starting point, we're already talking with an Italian brand and some other brands to do production. Then came Corona and everything was shut down.
Yeah.
And then I said, I have to keep this flame awake. And so I went to Staat, creative agency, and I told them about the project and I wanted to do a publication. And they came with the idea of 1 square meter paper. So this is what it is. And this is the inside of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we can pass it around after your presentation, because I also want to have people notice that one. That sounds beautiful. And what we said, like a combination of all the things that you are as well. Yeah. And I'm really happy that you're also receiving recognition for that. Right now, and you're on somewhere on the rugs are on display, right now.
Yes, in the Cobra Museum,
Amsterdam. I don't have free tickets for that one. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We get back to you in a second, but can I already have a warm applause for Mina?
Yes.
Thank you.
Because. Kenza Mala, we've also invited you. Hello. And before, I also have questions, but you also prepared a presentation. Maybe it's nice to start with the presentation first? Did I? Yes, you did.
I was waiting for questions. Yes, of course. So my name is Mala Badi, Kenza. And I can... okay. Sure. Yeah. Cool. Actually, 1 second. Probably will be on. Because I'm Moroccan, right?
By the way, we...
That's...
Probably. So actually I'm very happy to be with both of you. I love your imaginations, and I'm very happy to share this space with you.
Appreciate you, man. Really appreciate it.
I'm an artist, and also I do research, and I work recently on Moroccanness. Now? Moroccanness. I just created this word because I find it very, very interesting, this word Morocco. When I come to the Netherlands, especially like for me as a person who came 6 years ago here, and the first word I heard is like Moroccans. And I'm like, hi, what's that mean? But actually, it doesn't mean this word like, where you're from, I am Moroccan. No, it's a concept. It's actually a very deep concept that was developed in the Netherlands and north of Belgium to give an idea and picture about, an image about Moroccans. That actually was developed because of racism, because of institutional racism, and because of this, when some right-wing parties, they say Moroccans, it doesn't mean I'm Moroccan, because I was always proud to be Moroccan. But when I'm here, and I'm still, but like when I'm here, the word Moroccan, it's different. So I want to be engaged on understanding from where it's come, this word. And also, as a newcomer, I was like trying to create connections with Moroccans here, what they call Dutch-Moroccans, but it was very difficult. Echt moeilijk. And I'm like, salam, and they're like, anyway, and this has just moved something on me. And also, like, I experienced a lot of things that just makes me really want to understand how systems of oppression affect Moroccans' behaviors. And because this, I made this presentation for you. I don't know if this tap. Oh yeah. So I want to transfer the belonging from a Moroccan community or from Morocco, because I don't give shit about Morocco as borders and just colonial dream, and I just found myself born there. But I really love Moroccans because loving my people, it's directly loving myself. I love it because I love myself. I want to love myself, and I need to understand what we had experienced to love ourselves. It's very hard for us to just look at yourself and say, I love you. And it's beyond me. It's something that all Moroccans have to be engaged on, this process of healing and self-love. And then I will love myself as I want. This picture is by Moroccan worker in the 17th in the Netherlands. So my research was started with, okay, this is me. I am Mala Badi. I do art in this nervous, but I would like to start with Frantz Fanon as a person who gave me the power to stand for myself and say, yeah, I'm this person of color who actually have a dignity, and that this word is a tough, and you cannot be existing here if you don't fight. There is no more time to play football or like play whatever. So that book has changed my life and just removed slowly this white mask and the embodiment of colonialism on me and how I see myself. And how I believe, like, when I'm loving people of color, more people of color, actually I'm practicing self-love. And thank you, Fanon, for this. Do you know about this? Yeah, no. Oh, yeah, cool. It's fine. I started the research on Ras Arbeiders. You know the word, right? So during the 16th and 17th, the Netherlands, after the war, is like they don't have anything. So they have to bring workers from Morocco, Turkey, Yugoslavia, and Spain and Italy to work here. And when I found this, I felt very happy because this is the current fun. Kman is like the Syndicat of Moroccan workers, because when they come here, they will put it on this. I will just use English. This workers' house, they will push it. A lot of people living in the same room. They were separated from their families in Morocco. They were separated from Morocco. They couldn't speak any language. They would just come here to work. And with the people I had interviewed with, I was asking her about like her grandfather, that she was actually a Ras Arbeiders. And she told me that my grandfather always say, ik come here om te werken, niet om te praten. And I found it very, very difficult to hear this word, because after we had some conversations, she told me that I came here to be a good artist, not to fight racism. So I can see the embodiment of pain that's actually transferred to this young Moroccan woman, and this actually comes from exploitation of these people, the unhumanization of Moroccans. It's a little bit emotional, but yeah. And actually, on the 17th, lots of Moroccans were engaged on workers' movements and for rights. Please look for the Moroccans Arbeider's grants. I mean, now it's different, but yeah. So my idea actually is how this past actually affects the Moroccan behaviors. How trauma is creating harm within our communities as Moroccans, within other communities. And I can understand that our behaviors, whatever it was, it's not our personal, it's not like people problems, but it's have roots. And we have to fix the roots of these things. That's actually this deep trauma. And like example, like Badr Hari and all these guys, very macho kickboxers, like how the Dutch media actually presenting this form of Moroccan man that should to be macho, should to be aggressive, should to be whatever, to celebrate it. And where is this, like, this guy was like presenting this gentle masculinity, you know? It's like, we want to see you more, you know? And I think also there's this trauma that's actually pushed us to be toxic and be violent. I would just be honest with myself and I say, yes, I do have some toxic behaviors and I have to heal them. It's actually come from years of colonialism that I'm coming to. I think that in the last 100 years, Moroccans experienced some radical violence. Started from French colonialism and Spanish colonialism. Do you know this guy? Okay, he's Ofkir. He's one of the Hassan II generals. And Hassan II, he was very tough. It was like radical political oppression to people. If you talk, they're gonna take you behind the sun. You will never see the sun again. So my people, like Moroccans, were experiencing a lot of silence and a lot of violence. It's actually embodied on us. And when we free it as a harm. It's not our fault. It's the fault of the system. And like how, also like, the people who are here, because I'm just new here, and when I talk to other Moroccans, and I can say something, I call it like transgenerational trauma. This colonialism had passed to the people who were born here from Moroccan parents, like example. There is also this generational trauma, that's intergenerational trauma that's actually embodied on us. I come from Morocco, I'm holding it, and even people who were born here, they can embody this trauma. So it's like circles of trauma doesn't have a time to heal and to breathe. Just keep going, walking, be the good Dutch, be the good this, be good this, get this. And then this dream of one of these Khas Arbeiders to rest, it was not there. One of those workers, they just want to nap and to rest. One of my ancestors just want to sleep after a long day of walking, and he doesn't have it. So I want to create something new, and I want to transfer this pain to justice. And I want to destroy this symbolism of Moroccan flag and this colonial idea that when we say the Moroccan flag, we're like, I don't have anything nationalist linking me to Morocco, but I'm more connected to Moroccan people. I want to change the narratives of seeing the nation as something, whatever, like the state to say the people. And because of this, I was engaged on my research and also to also say that I am, as a Moroccan, I am belonging not only to my Moroccanness, but I'm also belong to humanity. I belong to all migrants, to Black Morocco and to Black humanity. I belong to queer and trans community. I belong to the air, to the sky, to the whatever, like, I belong to life, you know? And I'm just standing against this toxic belonging that I'm tired of it. I want to connect with the word, and this is the word how my people gonna heal. Heal. And what I had to create, the first time I'm creating Moroccan flag actually. and happy one. Thank you. And this is my aim. I changed the narrative. I changed this flag. It's colonial, by the way. It's created by France, the pentagram. It's very complicated. It's like... because every Moroccan deserves a flag who loves them. Every Moroccan deserves a flag who smiles on them, or makes them feel happy. I don't want to think about Morocco. I have to send money to my mother and I have to do this. Baby, it's like about joy. And also, I believe that, so I talk here on this very deep sense, but like, if you say Moroccans as sufferers, this is not true. If people want to say Moroccans as experience of sufferance, conservative or whatever, we are on the, no, we are just such a Amazigh civilization full of joy for music, Zalbia, look at this beauty, kijk. I mean, you know, like we are actually an experience of joy. You were talking about your parents and how these people had give time, grow, you know, offer good education. They do their best. They bring joy to the house. They bring the gifts. How we make jokes, you know? How we're like, oh, really? Yes. You know, we are full of life. And this is what we deserve. Because here, I feel like they look at us, I don't know, I mean, like the system, I mean, like the institutions. Look at Moroccans that they're like inferior, they cannot do. We're such, we're indigenous people, you know? We're just have our roots and joy and solidarity and beauty. Tagine, Nafisa, whatever you are, yeah? Tagine Zwin, ulala? You are. So also, I believe that my revisiting to the Moroccan flag, it's by decolonize the Moroccan body and decolonize Morocco. We will not get, I mean, we are getting there. Right? But like also, I feel that colonialism put in our minds, like French colonialism or Spanish colonialism, whatever, all the colonizers are the same. They just block this Moroccan mind, and I'm like, I want to fuck France. I want to destroy this symbolism of French elegance. I'm just like meeting people and they say, salut, ça va, tu vas bien? Ah, je m'en fous. I don't give shit about France. I don't give shit about France, and France is like my ancestors were suffering from them. You think like France, c'est la classe? No. This Zabi, this thing that this woman made is c'est la classe. It's my ancestors. My ancestors are the embodiment of being class, of being from the future. France, just colonizers, you know. One more time. Nique la France. I really enjoyed burning it. I really love it. I was like, to my workshop and it was like, oh, la France. All right. Yeah, I really love this. And actually, I watch it in Dutch because I want to connect to Dutch-Moroccans. Please say hello to me. Hoi, hoe gaat het? Ik spreek goed Darija. And yeah, because when I also like, this is one of my artworks, it's Charunja. Does anyone know about Charunja? Anyway, Charunja is something our ancestors pre-Islam and Amazigh mythology. Do you know Anzar? He's the god of the rain, and this is his wife. And I think with connecting with Amazigh ancestry and the Amazigh mythology, I am free in myself, and I bring it to the Netherlands, and it was raining. I hope...
I was already checking. If it's not
it was raining, because also I feel we need this reconnection with our ancestry, because white supremacist culture is based on isolation, separation, and disconnection. So I had to imagine my ancestors and to imagine how they have fun and joy. And actually, Charunja, it just makes me feel that I am connected to a deep history and to deep thinking, you know? I don't need the European philosophy, sorry. Of course, yeah, for school, but I really need to get my power and my energy from my ancestors. So now that I am standing and there is ancestors behind me, ancestors are behind us. And I also want to remember people in the Netherlands, especially from Moroccan diaspora people, that's actually their life or their history, of course, a lot of them now, but I'm just like a reminder, doesn't started with taking flights or boat to come to Europe. It's back to centuries and centuries of love and beauty. And this is my last thing. This is one of my artworks. I also believe that there is no Moroccan liberation or Moroccan people liberation without the liberation of all the migrants. Because all of us are connected somehow, as you were saying, like we are connected to colonial trauma as base things. But I just want to make it banal, this everything colonial, I make a joke of it. But like how I can look to humanity and they connect to humanity. While I'm working on this, I met different people. It's still small, but it's gonna get going. Meeting more migrants. I had met Sadiqa Arab, who translates for me the word needs and deserves some breathing room to telefit. I had met a mother from Morocco, actually, who translates for me, like people from Morocco, from Suriname, from China, from Colombia, and from Mexico, who just tell me these stories, and they were very happy to translate this for me. And this is my call, is to create a breathing room where all migrants can go there, and like all the people, especially migrants, to sit and breathe together and heal our ancestors' pain and touch it gently and transfer it to justice and love. I think it's very necessary for us to take this action of collective healing. Yes, thank you. I had also created this this ancestral ritual is about like, can you see it or no? I can just like, oh, sorry. It's a performance based on collective breathing and bringing qalb ska. You know qalb ska? Yeah. شفتي كان سيبو بأجاي. What? كان سيبو بأجاي. دابا كنهلسو. We engaged on a circle of people breathing together. Like breathing, and then we start to break the sugar. Chak, 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 exactement. And it's very beautiful because it's bring a lot of emotions and also it's connect lots of people. It's connect a lot of people. This is my friends, like they're from Colombia and this person from the UK, from Jamaica, Jamaican diaspora. They're Moroccan, these people from Chinese person. And a lot of people were just like ignored that colonialism actually separates us. You know, this like Turk, Moroccan, oh. We're all under this shit, and they have to face it together. So I really love this performance, and I love this opening ancestral window for healing together, because the Moroccan liberation is the migrants' liberation, and actually my ancestors' liberation is how I imagine it is beyond the humanity. It's also the liberation of animals, the liberation of the earth. And this is the last thing I'm going to talk about. Is like my organization. I am part of an organization called Morocco Zawiya. You know Zawiya? So I create Zawiya ديال الزوامل والقشالات trans because I think that there is no Morocco without queer identities. And Morocco was always fucking queer as a fuck. And everyone like talking about Morocco, blah, I'm talking in general, people talking about Morocco and they just ignore that, hi, you know, khoya. And I think it's very important to remind us that this queer identity is very important in the Moroccan identity, and there is no Morocco without this identity. And in this organization, we're trying to organize things based on art, like exhibitions, Moroccan queer readings, Museum. We're gonna organize festival as soon as possible. We're gonna Museum, and we just like queer people there, you know, like so gay, Moroccan gayness, and we gather, we think together. There is a lot of writers, lot of poets, lot of artists. We're also trying to connect diaspora Moroccans, like last exhibition, it was like imagination and memory. We were talking about like North African masculinities from queer perspective. We're like artists from Morocco, from diaspora in France, and also refugees in the Netherlands. I don't know why Dutch-Moroccans we cannot reach them, even we talk to them. Maybe because they're Dutch-Moroccans. But maybe if we speak net goed Nederlands, maar I think in the future we can reach them and we can work together and these things. Yeah, I think it's fine. Thank you.
Yeah, Kenza Mala.
Thank you.
Kenza Mala.
Yeah.
After your presentation, I just want to take 1 minute because.
Yeah, let's take a minute of break.
Yeah, because I just want to ask the audience who's feeling the recognition. Yeah. Who is feeling the suffering? Yeah. Who is feeling the joy? Who's feeling the healing?
Ah, nice.
Let's all take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. I can feel it in my body, actually.
I'm very happy to hear this. You deserve.
I love how you say Morocco.
Of course. Yeah, Maghreb. Yeah, because I'm Gawad, like half a lot. I cannot say a lot. You know, Morocco. It's like.
Just a quick question on your work, because you're a performance artist and a theorist, a writer. How did, in your creative process, how did coming to the Netherlands influence your creative process and development?
I mean, like coming to the Netherlands provoke my creative process. I started writing when I was 19, something like this, to a queer magazine called Aswad. So it was just like writing about like my experience as a queer person, writing about other queer people, other gay people, trans people, and just publish it. And they just find that I'm a really good writer. And it was like, and yeah, and people start to love my stories. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do it more. And like this, I found myself writing, doing performances, organizing, engaging on activism, and creating those things. It just started as response to trauma, actually. But now I'm on that process of just how I can transfer this trauma, or like this reaction to trauma, to justice, because I was living for a lot of time just around trauma and about suffering and about pain, and I want to think, what is next? How I can heal myself, how I can heal my community, because it's very easy to just, not very easy, it's very hard work, of course, but like it was just tiring for me, and using a lot of my nervous system was like not really good, like just doing activism and just like talking about like, yes, it's da, 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 and these activist behaviors. Yeah, because of this, I'm now choosing to do the healing work, and I don't want to be on anyone, like people like some before were like calling me because they know that my performance is gonna be like so harsh and so, you know, like taking people to this darkness. But like I don't want to do this no more. Maybe the Netherlands provoke this because I don't want whiteness to disturb my nervous system. I want myself to dig to my healing and my people healing, and also I feel that there is emergency and there is the need to the healing work, because there is not that much spaces for generations to talk. There is not that much spaces for generations to heal. There is not that much spaces when you can just go and cry, or just go and talk to your grief, or talk to your sadness, and to relieve it, you know. So also, like with organizing with Morocco's area, I was saying that when I come to the Netherlands, I was slowly getting separated from my people and separated from Morocco. So I was like, okay, this being here, it will not disconnect me. It will just give me an opportunity of connecting more people. And I was very happy to have this exhibition with 4 Moroccan artists from diaspora. If I wasn't here, I would not care about Moroccan suffering in the Netherlands and France. So what moves me is not any country. What moves me is my sensation, is my dreams of justice and my loving to people. This is what moves me. What moves me is like when I go home and I was like, my mind is occupied thinking about like, what the fuck this happened? This is so sad. This is like when I was like example, the Khas Ibada things, it was like very sad. And it was just like, just have to breathe. And what's going to be the answer? The answer is joy. The answer is rest, you know. I just want to create this huge room when all these Moroccans come and just sleep, you know. They don't do anything, like ni mumu. And we were like just sleeping and resting, like how people can touch healing actually. Because healing, it's look like something, we cannot touch it, but I mean, I just want created rooms for sleeping, for resting, for breathing, for writing, for just allow your vulnerability to take place. And I think this is what I'm standing for right now. Because this pleasurable activism, it's like the activism of pleasure. That I'm feeling that I'm getting pleasure, I'm not going sad, depressed.
I love that. The activism of pleasure and joy. And I think that it sparks 100%. From all of your work.
Yeah.
How do you recognize, make a question to the three of you. How do you recognize yourself in each other's works? Do you?
I think everything you say, there is a part that I can relate to, absolutely. And when I was just thinking to myself, I want to have more of this. Yeah, because I want to recognize myself and I want to be inspired in a way that it's not like maybe the Eurocentric way, but it's more the bicultural way. And yeah, I love it. I thank you both for telling the story. I think it's uplifting and inspiring, and yeah, I really enjoy it.
Yeah, and we learn more about ourselves as well, right?
Yeah.
How do you see that, Mous? It's like, okay, now I need to say something smart. I saw you thinking.
Thought I was finished, so I was like, yeah, I think the healing part is very important. I think. And I don't think it's a Moroccan thing. It's, I think, we're confronted with like with our where we came from, and you know, like you see it all the time. You can be born here or whatever, but you always reach out. At some point in your life, you always reach out to where you came from, or you go look for it, or you know, just being curious, or when you want answers, and it's a thing that needs healing, you know, at some point. And on that part, I can really agree. Like, you know, that you're right. Like I don't know how you heal, but it asks for healing, though. But every person has a unique way, I think, to heal. So it's not a universal thing. So
how do you do that, for example?
Me?
You take naps. No.
Yeah, I don't answer my phone, and honestly, I go for 3, 4 hour, 5 hour walks.
Oh, nice.
Just by myself, and just in nature, you know, like give a chance to be, so you could be with yourself. because I believe that sometimes you need to be bored to get in touch with yourself, because we're constantly doing something, like entertained. There's always something happening. If nothing's happening, we look through our phones. And this is why people, I believe, this is personal, but this is the reason why I believe that people always say, like, my best ideas come before I go to sleep. It's like the only moment you're not actually
switching off.
Yeah, and I can recommend walks to everybody. Like, you get new ideas, you get new perspectives. This is my moment that I'm the most creative during my walks. Yeah. By yourself, no phone, no podcasts, no, like, and then your mind just goes by itself. Like, do you know what your mind does when it goes on autopilot? Like, you need to give it a chance to go autopilot.
Yeah,
you know?
we never experience that anymore, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, or we should just go to one of your events and take a
Yeah,
long...
very welcome.
Yeah.
It's your ancestral house.
Yeah,
so.
That's also a good name, by the way. I also want to open the floor for questions from the audience. Is there anyone from the audience that has a question for all of them, or just one? Ooh, more questions. You take them? Okay. Yes. Hi, what's your name and what's your question?
Hi, my name is Michelle, and can I model for you once?
I didn't even see you. She was sitting in front of me.
Please stand up.
Give it up for her. Give it up for her. I mean, just daring to ask that already gives you a yes, I guess. You know.
Yes.
What's your name? Hi, my name is Constantine. I am having a question. Yes, I'm gonna stand. You want to hold it? Sorry. I'm wondering, based on your photographies, why are you focusing just on colorful people, colored people? I saw that most of the picture that you have, 90% of them, there's just black, brown people. I'm wondering why not white people.
Most of the time, it's most of the time it depends where I am, and I have also photos with white people. Don't get me wrong, like, but
They're colorful.
a lot of times it depends also on the place that I am, and I get this all the time. I get this question also, like, because, you know, sometimes when I shoot in Morocco, people will say, like, yeah, you don't shoot enough with Moroccan people, but then, and then, you know, it's like it's not a very complicated answer. It's just a lot of times I just have to do it with what I, you know, what I can, what kind of team I can assemble, and it's
also like you shot what you see around you, right?
Yeah, I mean, I work with anyone or with everybody. It's I do have a lot of colored friends. I'm not going to lie about that, and I enjoy working with them because it's easy to work with them. But next exhibition, I will put some.
I feel though that as colored people, we get that question more often than if we would be white and shoot only white people. I have to say.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's in a way it's kind of a tough question. Is it? Obviously, I would, you know, try to give also people and models or people that want to become a model of color, if I can give them a chance through my platform, I would do that, like, without doubting. But I'm not, like, if I have to do a shoot tomorrow and there's a white person coming, I'm not gonna walk away from it. I'm not gonna say, like, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna do this because she's white. I mean,
is that your question answered? Great. Is there another question from the audience? There's one. Hey, what's your name?
My name is Tom.
Hi, Tom.
And I'm curious, like most people, or at least beginner photographers, dream of the life that you live, like at your level. But what does a professional photographer like you dream of? Well, you accomplished most of the photographer's dreams. Is there some new level that you want to attain? What is your dream?
Well, first I want to ask you if you agree with what he's saying.
I was just holding the mic. I was like, I don't know. First of all, the level that I'm at, first of all, alhamdulillah, like, didn't do it alone. I mean, I've been patient. I have amazing people around me helping me out. I mean, there are people here that can assure you that it was not always in the most best circumstances. We hustled a lot. We still hustle a lot.
We still do.
I don't want to give the wrong impression as like I made it. Like you all the time you have a new level, you know, and you have to start from scratch. If you grow up here, then you need to start from zero again. If you come to this level, you start from zero again. And I'm not saying this as it's a bad thing. This is the best thing that can happen to you, because if you stay grounded, you don't mind working from zero again. I mean, I'm still hustling because I love to hustle. Like, this keeps me hungry. This keeps me want to get, you know, further and further and further. So in my eyes, I'm nowhere close to where I want to get. I just want to keep going and you know, maybe inspire more, or maybe push the youth a little bit more. Maybe I'm trying to do like something. I want to start up a little school in Morocco to start in Morocco to help out the youth that wants to learn photography and video. These are all things that I want to push, but it's still really in a hustle setting, you know. Don't get me wrong, I didn't make anything.
Now I want to actually get back to something you said before, because you said sometimes it's good to like stand still and stop and have your thoughts like stop. But it's also good to sometimes stop and look back and listen what he's actually saying to you right now. Yeah. On how he's, because we talked before about celebrating. We produce works of joy, but we also sometimes have to look and celebrate our own accomplishments, right?
Yeah, this is something you really need to put in there, because you forget about it. Because you you pass your goals, you know, like you pass your goals and you don't even realize it. And so that's why I also said, like, alhamdulillah, like I stayed hungry, and I am still hungry. And this is what I always also want to pass out to, like, if there are beginning artists or photographers or etc. If you are patient, you're consistent, you hustle hard, keep doing what you do. Like, it's just a matter of time, I promise you. I saw, when I was a kid, or when I was starting, I saw like an interview of this, I think it was Pharrell Williams, who said like something like, yeah, you have to keep pushing and grinding, and then everything will come by itself. And I was like, yeah, maybe to you, like, you know, it doesn't happen to everybody. But I swear to God, it's true. Like, just a matter of time. It's just patience.
Yeah.
Question though, if there's one person in the world you can collaborate with, doesn't matter any field, who do you choose?
You're stealing one of my end questions.
Oh.
No, that's okay.
Let's answer it now.
I'm very curious.
Can I say Mina? Like
What was your answer?
And besides Mina, I would love to know from all of you, by the way. Who is it? Is it a person or a brand, maybe?
I think it's a person.
Yeah, let's just say it out loud. Let's throw it in the universe.
It's, I don't know, it's, I love Kanye West. I love Kanye West.
Please say that in the camera, like Kanye,
Yeah,
if you're watching.
But not as a, I don't want to collaborate with him like as a photographer. I would prefer to collaborate with him like on a project or something. Because you can say what you want. He's a pretty creative guy. Yeah.
Would you like to make, like, for example, move to video? Is that something you ambition?
For him? You mean? I mean, I would not. I would be too nervous. I would not do it. I would prefer to do something together because sometimes I get questions like artists on that, I mean, not Kanye level, but yeah, Kanye level. I was being modest again.
Sorry, I want to know names now. Please drop a name.
Who like really want to do like a video or want me to direct or anything, but I'm too insecure for that. So I prefer to do something that know that I can deliver than to just take the opportunity and maybe fail. So sometimes you have to also dare to say like, no, it's crazy. It's a crazy opportunity, but I prefer you respecting my work and maybe collaborate on something else, you know? Appreciate
But
it.
if Kanye calls, he will say yes. Yes. Yeah. Mina, do you have a dream client or person that you want to collaborate
I'm
with?
already working with everyone I enjoy.
That's on your list?
With him. Yeah. And Dior. Then, so I'd love to do their showroom or to do some craft work for them, and then they can dress me up.
Dior, yeah.
Actually, I don't dream of brands or famous people, to be honest. But like, I wanna talk to my father. I want to sit with him one day, and I want to hear him. I want to listen to my father, and I want to write his story because I doesn't have that much time with him, and I just want to sit with him and talk to him and know how his life was. So I think I do family collaboration, something.
Ah, that's beautiful. Thank you. I think there was also a question over there, the last row, in the corner. Hi.
Hi. Sumaya. So my name is Sumaya, and my question is, it's really nice and gorgeous to see the development of your work, and I wanted to know more about, I guess the first instance where you're taking a picture, if there is something specific that your lens lands on and that you move around with, or if it shifts constantly.
Hi, by the way. It changes every time. I know that in some people's eyes, like I said before, you guys think I made it, but it's really not. Like, I just still try, error, fall, stand up, and you know, all of a sudden, you know, you have to think more about what you do, and but the way we do it, it still is either we have an idea and we stage it and we shoot it, or sometimes we're just at a place and you see all these things that are, you know, gorgeous, and you try something with it, and sometimes it works, sometimes you think like, let's go home. This is not okay, you know. But you have to just, you know, you have to try a lot. And for every creative, just try, you know. Like, sometimes I think the most beautiful things that I do are the things that I actually got to do by accident. So, but you don't get accidents if you don't try.
Yeah, I also heard that you actually prefer not to over-prepare something. Like, if there's a really big production, sometimes you have to, because it involves so many people and a long process, but
I like to show up. That's it. How big the project is, like, for myself, I think the most creative on the spot. And I don't want to have too much information. Even like tonight, honestly, I had no idea what's going on tonight. But like, let's go. Let's.
You just thought we were going to have dinner, right?
I knew I was having a talk, by the way, but I didn't want to know what it was about or who or how many people were coming or what the topics were. I did imagine it though. Like I imagined like a little platform with like sofas, you know.
More comfortable.
Super comfortable, you know. This feels like a presidential thing, you know, like like a debate.
Well, luckily it's not. It's not.
No. It's not.
I saw a question over here. Yeah.
My name is Miriam, and I relate very deeply to what you said. I have to also speak for my culture and not speak for my culture. What I know about the Dutch culture is that a lot of the violence that people have done to other countries has been centuries and centuries in this country itself. So, for example, the huge crime of slavery. We have had centuries that society here was divided in people that worked on the land and people that were like the nobility, and the people that worked on the land were also nothing. And I feel that my society still has a lot of hidden points of control where, for example, oppression of women has been so long and so deep and so tough. The use of religion to manipulate people, you know, so many things. And in that sense, we are very lucky that we see other cultures to sort of at least try to wake the society up. I myself am lucky because my mother comes from another country. So I really feel that this society itself is ill and needs healing. I 100% acknowledge that colonialism has traumatized so many other societies, but it is also the sickness of this society itself. You know, this society itself is lacking very essential elements.
Are you talking to me, right?
Yes. So I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you.
Cool,
I'm sort of pleading
I
almost to you because it is.
Thank you.
It is if not to sort of you have wounds or we also have wounds, but to see how deep the wound is, how big it is.
100%. Thank you for sharing your experience. I really honor it. And this is what's actually where we can connect as a human beings, because the pain, it's deep. Like, I don't want really to focus on pain, but I just want to let you know that, to tell you like how actually white supremacist culture just separates people from pain, and how white supremacist culture actually doesn't make people have a time to deal with their pain. I don't know. My transformation is not about people of color or white people, but I wish like all these white people can be seriously engaging on this healing white supremacy, because white supremacy had the roots to trauma. These people are traumatized as fuck, and if white people doesn't heal, we don't know if we're gonna stay here next year or something. So yeah, it's not about my country or country. It's about a humanity beyond whiteness. The white body is sick since a long time, and that affects other people. But like the conflict, it's not binary always. It's not you are good, you are bad. The conflict is a conflict between, you know, lot of I don't know
layers.
What? It's not white people of color. No. The conflict is deeper and the hurt is deeper. And when we can see that we are actually human, hello, humanity, good morning, goedemorgen, then it will be so beautiful, because I really appreciate what you are saying, because I feel like it's come from a place of little bit shame because of the history of the Netherlands, but I believe that healing is going beyond shaming shame and also beyond the blame, and to get out of this circle of blaming and shaming, and just like to back to our bodies and just believe that we all deserve it. I want white people to heal, you know, I really want them to heal. I really, even like for my work and my performance, love white people. I don't give a shit about whiteness. Whiteness is not something to me. I care about humanity. If you say humanity on me, I really feel good. But the systems of oppressions are real. When we also talk about whiteness or people, we are also talking about the systems, the ecologies of oppression, how it's work, the power dynamics, how it's work. It's not about individuals. It's about the system, how it's work, and how the system is just prepared to give white people that certain privilege that doesn't give it to me, or something like that. So thank you so much for sharing your Smith. I appreciate it.
We're almost heading to 10 o'clock, so we're slowly wrapping up. I have one more question, because tonight we're celebrating all of your work, but I wanted to know if you also sometimes receive criticism.
My teachers.
Yeah.
It's always good to get criticism. I had suffered with it before because of my ego and white supremacist culture in my mind. But I really like the critics of my educators when they just give me full critics feedback. And they were just like, yeah, this is right, this can be changed. There is criticism and there is pitchy, you know? There is some just pitches, you know, pitches no. But I really like critiques that actually makes me grow, and the critiques that actually see humanity in me. Don't come to me and tell me you're bad. You can say me, this is not good, I see it differently. Being engaged with me in conversation or like a human exchange, you know, see me as a human, help me, do something, explain to me an idea. I will appreciate your perspective. But pitching, no. And also, because critiques, it looks sometimes like punishments. And this is something I'm working hardly to change it in my mind, and also to change my relationship with my pain, because the critiques was like, and I don't want the critics to react to them as reaction to trauma, but I want to react to them as something going to help me to grow and to build something, and to just take this pain that was like looking at me down, and then I'm looking at myself up and making my work up, and connecting with people up. So criticism is good if it's criticism.
Yeah, but it's sometimes difficult as well, because it's also so personal, your work, right? Mina, do you sometimes experience that?
Yes. I did, and I agree with you. Sometimes it's pitching, and sometimes it's criticism where you can learn from, and that is criticism is showing you how you can do it differently and why. But I think if you experiment and do new stuff, you always make mistakes, and I think you need to make mistakes, like you said, to get to something new and to learn. So I made a lot of mistakes actually, but I agree. I learned that I had to learn to deal with criticism in a constructive way. So, but I have a manager. My husband. He's my biggest supporter, but also biggest critic, and that.
Oh, he's the one pitching. No,
someone else. No. But yeah.
Yeah, but it keeps you sharp.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mous?
Yeah, I mean. It was actually pretty okay. Not that much. Recently, I had. which is kind of tough because you're talking about someone's passion, you know, like it's like hurting your kids. So I have to be honest about it. I'm not a tough person. Like when this happens to me, it crushes me. Like no, I can't handle it. I don't know how to handle it. If someone has ideas how to handle it, please come see me after the show. But I really can't. And it's opinions, which is, I try to see them as people walking through life, as some people see beautiful things and they say that they see the beautiful things and say, I like this is beautiful, I like your piercing, I like your jersey, but I think there are also other people that walk around just critiquing everything. Like they would never say that they like something. They would always say out loud what they don't like. And this is how I try to imagine these people. And still, it hurts me. But I'm just going to be honest with it. Like, I'm doing my very best to forget about it. And it takes me a lot of energy, I'm not going to lie.
Forget about it, or also like take part of the critique and improve and become better, like Mina says?
That's not critique, it's bitching. Like,
no, we just made a statement about
it's
bitching.
just bitching,
so,
you know? Like, I mean...
But it's also about...
What kind of feedback is, you know, okay, let's give an example. What kind of feedback is you should be ashamed of what you do? I mean...
Why?
I don't know. I mean, like, how do I take that back and work on that? I was like, okay, like...
no, but I think that is category bitching.
Category is bitch.
Oh my God. I wasn't only feeling like Oprah, I was almost feeling like RuPaul for a moment. Anyways, that's why we need to celebrate more. Celebrating your work, celebrating your heritage. I want to celebrate also next projects. What is upcoming stuff?
We start there, I think.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, celebrating you, so like, go ahead.
Well, Kenza Mala, what are you working on?
I'm still doing this performance and I'm just still discovering things, but I don't know. My next project is to go to the Bavaria and just enjoy the mountains and just forget about work and everything, and then we see. I'm tired of work.
Good for you,
Taking
man.
Good long nap. Good for you.
Good for you. Good for you.
Good for you. Mina.
Yeah, I'm tired of work too.
Me too. Let's go.
Just quit your job. No, but I'm serious actually. But I'm gonna have like a break, residential in Morocco for a few months. And he gave me some good advice to go back in my bubble, because as a creative and a designer, and especially of bicultural identity, sometimes there's a lot of noise and a lot of things around it that distract you from creating, and that sometimes you need to go back and not only 5-hour walk, but just a few months.
You need more than
but I have
but it takes mental effort and suppressed to also navigate the landscape.
Yes, and then sometimes you need to go back to see where you get very happy, and for me that is creating. But I have a nice thing that I want also to share. That is that next year in September. I'm gonna curate a hub while there is an glue event. Glue is interior design or design art event, 4 days in Amsterdam. So you have different spots, studios.
It's like a pop-up event.
Well, no, it's not really a pop-up. It's like a fair, like
in different spaces.
In Amsterdam, in different spaces all around Amsterdam. for 3 or 4 days, and I'm gonna create a hub with bicultural designers and artists. So that would be next year, and I'm really looking forward to dive in the talent and the stories and the colors and
And are you looking for makers, or
yes,
is this an open call as well?
Yes, yeah. Well, I'm gonna It's still more than a year, but I will
so
from
keep
now
an eye on your
on.
socials.
I'm gonna really investigate. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Thank you.
Mous, any next things?
I think this is the point where I have to brag about, like, we're doing this and that. But honestly, the school project that I was actually talking about, this is something that I really want to work on this summer, because it's quite complicated to actually start up a little school. Like, there's a lot of funding and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I never had a book. And this is like, it's bothering me because people asking me about a book and I don't have a book. So this is also something that I want to start working on. Like, I want to have my first book.
Who would buy a book from Mous? Okay, so if you collect all of their email addresses, do a pre-sale, crowdfunding, then we're almost there.
Inshallah, inshallah. No, give me that.
Okay, with these words, I want to end this evening. Thank you so much for your energy. Also, for the people watching and listening from home later on, thanks for being there.
Is this going to air?
No, not right now, but maybe after 2 hours, people are still watching. I mean, I hope so. I would. Cook and watch. Anyways, your exhibition is still showcasing at Foam until the 16th October. Please take your cards and visit that. But there's also, and that we didn't mention yet, there's also a part of your work, not in Foam, but in Makam, right?
Yes.
Can you share a little bit more about that?
Amelie would be so happy now. No, there's a little part also at Makam. Makam is at...
het Jan van Schaffelaar plantsoen.
West, right?
Yep, Kodekerbuurt.
It's a very nice space. It's a very nice neighborhood, and I'll have some pieces also there. And if you have kids, take your kids with you. I mean, we also have some printed skateboards and stuff like that they can play with, and yeah, have a look. It's very nice.
Yeah, and your work will be on view there until the 27th of August. Just to make sure that they don't go in October. And what is also still on showcase in Foam is Open for Business Magnum Photographers on Commission until the 7th of September. Thank you all for your presence and your stories. I think one more applause for our speakers, please. After summer, we will be back with new editions of Fotokroniek. If you want to support Pakhuis de Zwijger, please do that. You can do that via the QR code that is showing in the back of my... No. Well, just go to dezwijger.nl/pay then. And thank you so much, Foam, as well. And I all want to invite you to have a drink with us downstairs in the bar and discuss some more. Thank you.